Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan Hayden. I'm the Director of Alumni Relations at the NOCCA Foundation. This afternoon's presentation and performance is brought to you by the NOCCA Foundation with our fiscal sponsor, the Maione Prima Foundation. The NOCCA Foundation is the 501c3 nonprofit partner to NOCCA. NOCCA is the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts, and this year they are celebrating its 50th anniversary. And this afternoon, you're going to have a special presentation with the evolution of jazz, with some NOCCA alum. And even in the audience today, we have some class of 2025. Stand up, let's give them a round of applause. They are the 50th class that is graduating from NOCCA. So excited that they are here with us. Because it's the 50th anniversary, NOCCA wants to celebrate the arts, and if you are visiting from near or far, or if you're watching us online and streaming, there are ways to support NOCCA. You can visit the NOCCAfoundation.org and make a donation to support the arts, and afterwards there will be a reception where we'll have wine and refreshments. You can meet and greet all of the fantastic artists that are performing today, and also purchase your tickets. This weekend we have our Art and Soul Gala. It's our biggest fundraiser for the NOCCA Foundation, or if you simply just want to support the arts. So without further ado, let's put our hands together and welcome Jonathan Bloom, class of 1976 and alum.
Good evening, good evening. How y'all doing? I'm glad y'all, look, congratulations to the class. Welcome to the club, y'all. All of this is graduates from the music department? Okay. All right. Well, look, I'm Jonathan Bloom. I was one of the guinea pigs 50 years ago when they decided to have this experiment, does the arts work in this kind of capacity? So people like Moses Hogan and Kent Jordan, well, Moses was the first graduating person. I fall in the second class with people like Kent Jordan, Elton Herron, one of your teachers, Chris Severin, Miles Wright, Stanley Stevens, the Dimas brothers. It wasn't a lot of us. The school wasn't that big, but it was a great thing for us. I was so glad that it happened, and I didn't know anything about it. But if it would not have happened for me, I probably would have been a negative statistic in this community. And it helped me out a lot. So, and it created all kinds of opportunities. I made money playing with Ellis Marsalis early, and then it helped me to go to college and all of those great things. And some of y'all, like I'm talking to some of y'all about college all the time. Today, I want to introduce some of our other alum who were from classes, after me. Let me see if I could go in chronological order. Rennell Johnson on tuba back at sousaphone. Yeah. Now he was up at Perrier Street, Uptown building. We have Mark was first. Mark is the first. Mark was from Perrier Street also. And after 92. Stephen Walker, 97, Perrier Street. And then as we transition from Perrier Street, Courtney started at Perrier Street, but made that transition in 2000 to Charter Street, where you are currently working out of that building. So Courtney Bryan. And then Natasha Harris. There was another young lady with her who I taught, and I taught her in school, and as I was a beginning teacher. I may have signed your paper to go to NOCCA. Wow. So I really feel old. And when that started, we developed a program called NOCCA Academy, and Stephen was one of those individuals who came out of that. Stephen Gladney, Doyle Cooper, Peter Vonado, drummer. Some of you drummers may know Peter. And we had a great class, and some other ones, I can't remember their names. I'm getting a little old, y'all, but tolerate me. So I had a great experience, and I was just telling them earlier, I was telling Rennell earlier, we look at it as being ancient history, but it's really in our lifetimes. And so when I was a student with Ellis Marsalis, I remember him saying, hey man, come on over to this tent during festival time. You need to be this. We were playing at the festival, representing the school. And the player was U.B. Blake. U.B. Blake was born in 1887. So that's like 13 years older than what Louis Armstrong, before he was born. So you see what I'm saying? Now that's not that long after the Civil War he was born, and I'm interacting with a person like that. And those teachers brought those kinds of experiences, and I'll talk briefly about them in between each song. I don't want to take all the time with that. But talking about people like Alvin Batiste, who actually was predating Ellis. People think of Ellis as the first one, but they had a program called Adolescence. And Mr. Severin is, I call him the oldest student, because Chris was one of the adolescents. And there's only a couple of them who are still living who played with Alvin through a grant, an artist in residence grant that later became, that program became NOCCA. And that's how the humble beginnings. I can give an in-depth thing, but I don't want to take that time. So with no further ado, for all of those people like U.B. Blake, and I got to meet Father Earl Hines with Ellis, and I got to meet a ton of other people, and Doc Cheatham I brought up to the school uptown. So we're gonna make this first tribute, a tune called Buddy Bolden Blues, according to Pops Foster. Alvin Batiste's arrangement. Okay. On you, chord. Weehoo. So, yeah, we gotta, many people, even in the city, kind of think of, our experiences coming out of there were just of the modern forms of jazz. But we got exposed to earlier stuff too, So that was one of them. In your time, you got exposed to that, right, with Alvin? Did you? Yeah. Mark came up playing trad stuff, So Renell also. Huh? Yeah, it is. That's great. So that's a good testament. Look, Mr. Pallera's back then. He's part of the current staff, and he's that extension as they came into the. Mike, how many years have you been? Wow. Well, if you give Chris his student time, he got about 40 or 50. You know that, huh? So, yeah, I can remember bringing Doc Cheatham and Danny Barker. That song made me think of Danny Barker. And a short story that goes with that is a decision had to be made whether it was going to be Ellis Marsalis or Danny Barker, and then it was chosen that Ellis would lead the department with jazz as it was at that time in the very beginning. But Danny was very instrumental in connecting with students because Stanley Stevens, who was with me, played with Danny. I got to play with Danny Barker. And it was quite an experience. I just want to open it up for some of the other band members. Renell, any personal experiences you want to talk about?
Oh, man, so many. NOCCA's such a great school. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, that's my theme song. Yeah, you're right. But NOCCA is such a great institution, and man, We used to have so much fun. In addition to learning and working hard, we had a blast every day, you know. I mean, I used to love, I still talk about this. I'll be telling my wife, man, when we walk into the building and you get to the second floor of the Perrier building, Perrier Street, you just hear that rhythm section swinging. Boom, 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 biggity boom, and then the horns, but it could you do it? I mean, what other high school you gonna ever find that at? You know what I'm saying? Every day. No, NOCCA is the bomb. Whoop, there it is. There you right.
So, couldn't keep him away. Who else would I like to talk about? Mark, you want to say something? You from those earlier days. What was happening with y'all, with Clyde? You transitioned with Clyde Kerr. Clyde Kerr came to NOCCA somewhere around 87. Somewhere around that time. It was around 87. And I remember I was coming up, I looked up to Clyde like he was an older brother for me because our families go way back. And I was trying to figure out, I was running a program that I started with Wynton Marsalis called Jazz Outreach. And people like Natasha came out of that. And trying to think of some other NOCCA people. Chris Royal came out of that program. Christian Scott came out of that program. Big Sam, Andrew Baham came out of there. And so I was trying to convince everybody who was part of that experience, like Elton Heron and some other people in Kent, say, man, why don't y'all take this position? And nobody really wanted to take the position, and Clyde convinced me. He said, man, sometimes you never feel you're ready to do something, but you have to just step in and make it happen. And he was going through the same thing because he was following the footsteps of Ellis Marsalis. And the program was very small at that time, but we grew it really, really fast because Jazz Outreach was like a feeder program, and so that helped out a lot. But Mark, you came along with, was it you, Marlon Jordan? Marlon was with you? Yeah. Abram is another trumpet player. He passed in London. Abram, he's passed, I think. Yeah. So we lost a lot of players, but it was a great time. And I really enjoyed that time, even because I would go up with Clyde and participate. Now, you see this configuration, some of these drum students who I know up here. I thought about this because my first teacher at NOCCA, my drum instructor, was Alfred Uganda Roberts. They just put a big display of him upstairs in this building, in the gallery, in the Jazz Museum display part. Uganda played with Earl King, and Professor Longhair was his main gig, and James Booker, and he played with a lot of other people. But he was my teacher, and so that's why I decided to not play the traps traditionally. I said, well, let me put this in here for Alfred, because he died right after COVID. And so I just wanted to make that dedication to Alfred Uganda Roberts. We're going to do something else. We're going to play a Clyde Kerr's tune. And this tune is called Treme. And Treme is a stroll. Before there was the interstate on Claiborne, there was these magnificent, majestic oak trees, and it was paradise to the Treme community. So Clyde grew up in that community, and this song represents during the Mardi Gras season. He remembered when people picnicked on the neutral ground, when now they be underneath the overpass, but it was a stroll, and this song came out of that experience for Clyde. So, Treme. What you say, Kalamu? Is that Kalamu? No, I thought that was Kalamu. Ya salam. Oh, here we go. So that was a Claire song, Treme. And we're going to do one more for Clyde. What you said, Adonis was in the back? Where is that? Come on up here, man. Come on, bro. Oh, let's play an Ellis tune. Y'all know something? Adonis, what? I'll talk a little bit while you we'll reconfigure these drums. Courtney, here you go. Let me reconfigure these drums for him. Tell him one of your experiences.
Okay, yeah. I mean, NOCCA, it's such a special experience for all of us. I mean, you see all the love we have up here, and we're all there at different times. Some of us overlap, but it's all one tradition. We all come out this very unique experience, whatever year we were, whether we were at the old building, like I started at Perrier's, like several of us, or the new building, and now the new building's a whole campus, so I'm still getting used to the new NOCCA. But yeah, we had such amazing teachers and just the atmosphere. It was a place to experiment. The standards were set very high, so we wanted to make our teachers happy, because they gave us everything. Mr. Kerr gave us so much, so we wanted to be able to give that back, and the same with all our teachers. I don't know if anybody else wants to say any words.
Yeah, I mean, NOCCA was just a great experience. It's so fulfilling to see all of you guys sitting here, to know that this experience is still going on and that you guys get to experience it, because the people sitting next to you are become lifelong friends. And that's something that I can say, especially coming through Mr. Bloom's program, and he's actually instrumental in getting me to NOCCA, because I didn't know about NOCCA, didn't know anything. I probably would never have even auditioned for it. And so he introduced me to a lot of the people that you see performing today, a lot of the greats, so it was great experience.
I think you got to meet people like Doc Cheatham, played with Cab Calloway Band, he proposed to Billie Holiday, he played with Ma Rainey, he played with Betsy Smith. Louis Armstrong gave Doc Cheatham a gig in 1929. And they paid $100 during the Depression. That was like, $1,000 gig in that time, Doc also said that Louis Armstrong could have chosen anybody, but he chose him. And so the students got to hear these kinds of first-hand stories of what it meant for these earlier figures to engage and interact with each other. I don't know if you got a chance, but I did bring Milt Hinton and some other people over. Sweets Edison, and Sweets Edison told a story to the kids. I think Devin Phillips was in the group at the time. How one of the club owners saved Milt Hinton's hand. They were going to cut all his fingers off. And he made the doctors swear that they would take and save this man's hand, and Milt Hinton became iconic figure with jazz artists for another 50 years. You want to say something? Yeah, come on, Adonis. Y'all know Mr. Rhodes right here.
All right, how you guys doing? We'd like to thank you guys for participating and coming out to the NOCCA Foundation concert series. And I definitely would like to say a little bit something about Jonathan Bloom. He's been an educator for a very long time, and I remember, not to make him feel old, but when I was young and I was in high school, he definitely helped me in my development. He's been a good friend of my family, which is the Severin family. So Chris Severin is my uncle, if anybody knows him. Vernon Severin is my dad. He's also a drummer, but I've been knowing Jonathan for a long time. He taught in a public school system. He also worked with the at the time, Thelonious Monk Institute for some years, and he's with the Louis Armstrong Jazz Camp that happens every summer. So I would like to thank him for all of his service and being here today, being a part of this. Let's give him a hand. And we're all NOCCA graduates. I graduated from NOCCA in 1992, and it definitely changed my life. I would not be doing what I am doing if it was not for NOCCA. And to be the executive director of the foundation is an extreme honor and privilege for me. The idea behind this series was to bring you guys in, to have more community engagement, to have people, to be able to acknowledge our alumni and the people that worked so hard at the time. Actually, NOCCA, we're in our 50th anniversary year of the school. So we really wanted to get out into the community. We're always in the community performing, and you see our work everywhere, whether it's Terence Osborne or Wendell Pierce or Anthony Mackie or any of the hundreds of musicians that went to NOCCA. But to me, I wanted to really do a series to celebrate our students, faculty, and alumni. So thank you guys again for being here. I think we're going to play a tune by Mr. Ellis Marsalis. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to do a blues. We're going to figure it out. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, while he's getting settled. Y'all pick a tune. This is good because sometimes, you know, you walk into situations and we didn't get a chance to rehearse, but we can respond. And this is what NOCCA trained us to do, just like it trained y'all to do. Okay, on y'all. Whatever it is. Play the head, Steve, and then they'll play it.
If I hear it. Okay.
Thank
Come on, y'all, give it up. Give it up. Adonis don't want to leave now. You gonna play another one? You want to play another one, bro? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll play it. All right.
Thank y'all for having me.
See, that's out of that tradition. Let me tell you, he talked about his uncle and his dad being drummers. But in the earlier days of the Jazz Fest, I'm talking about like in the early 70s, Chris's dad and a director by the name of Johnny Fernandez and another man, Mr. Rudolph McClendon, one of my uncles, Edward Chatters, they used to hold court on the front row of the jazz tent. And they'd be giving you the thumbs up or the thumbs down. They were our critics. They were the hook if we didn't sound right or if certain things went down. But they were very important because they always encouraged us and they mentored us. So my hat off to your grandfather too, man. You know, that was great. We're gonna do another song. What time we have? How much time? We have time to do another song? Okay, we want to do another song. Anybody didn't speak or need to say something? Steve, you need to say something. Brother Gladney. And because I got to transition back to you guys.
That's all right. How's everybody doing? Good? I am honored to be a part of this moment because, as you see, we have so many different generations of NOCCA graduates in the jazz department. And these are people that I've seen over the years as I grew up. I met Courtney probably 20 years ago, 21 years ago at CAC when I was going to sit in with this band, Mugabe. And at the CAC. And I met Mr. Bloom back at the jazz camp, at Louis Armstrong Jazz Camp when I was entering middle school. And soon he would be one of my instructors alongside Clyde Kerr Jr. and Herman Jackson. Well, yeah, Kid Jordan, Alvin Batiste, Alvin Fielder, Darryl Levine, across the jazz camp at NOCCA Academy, where I was at in 2004. 2005, Katrina was my 8th grade year. And it was a big thing for me to not be able to continue at NOCCA that year, because we were probably two weeks into school when the storm hit. Fortunately, I later joined Big NOCCA, as we called it, at the riverfront in '06 under the guidance of Alvin Batiste and Michael Polera, and these musicians gave me the foundation that I continue to stand on. And it's just such an honor to be a part of that lineage, now being the woodwind instructor at NOCCA. So I'm happy y'all can be here to experience all of these people while we still here, because as we all know, we're here for a time and then we gone. So we gotta celebrate and honor and take in all the knowledge of the masters while they're still here.
So we're gonna try to sneak in another song right quick. I'd like to dedicate this one to Uganda, to Alfred. It's a song that was written by Wardell Kazare, and I don't know if Earl King was a part of that also, Big Chief. A lot of people used to think that was Professor Longhair whistling on there, but it was Earl King.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Earl. And he was a real close person with Ellis and with Alvin Batiste, as well as with Clyde. They had a circle that they would attend. They had a Cats and Best Off. That's way before y'all time. That's like, it's a drugstore, K&B. It was on the corner of St. Charles and Louisiana Avenue. And all of those musicians would get together and they would discuss. That was their philosopher's corner. And all of them were metaphysics, mystics. And we'll try to do a little mystics of old on our way out, but We're going to do Big Chief right now for Uganda. was always fun. I had a lot of fun with Professor Longhair and with Alfred. Learned a whole lot. I just like to say to the young graduates and even the ones who will still be at the school, you know, these experiences and the learning that you're being exposed to is going to take you around the world and places that you wouldn't normally go unless you're invited. And you're going to get paid to go.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah. So, you know, everybody up here can attest to that. We could probably name almost every place on the planet if we took in everybody's travel collectively. You know, so enjoy it. And when you get a chance, just read a little bit of the history and know about this place. So, because people are gonna expect you to know certain things about New Orleans. Raymond Webber told me this before he died. He was a former student. And he went up to Berkeley. He said, Mr. Bloom, he said, you know, when I got up to Berkeley, he said, everybody found out I was from New Orleans. They expected me to know certain things. And I didn't. He said, and I remember you used to say certain things, and I need to know that because when I go back, I want to be able to expound on it and say something intelligent. I said, well, Raymond, I can't give it to you just like a set of call keys, but we can have conversations. So every time you get those sidebars or those segues into between songs and different things and you hear the stories, the history, take it in and learn it and really put it as part of your breath because it's important. I know some of these people up here have been to Japan. I remember Mark and I, with his father, we used to play over at Dillard every summer, and they would bring 100 kids from Japan. It was like them coming to New Orleans. They studied the culture. They knew all of the names of our iconic players from the earlier days. They knew where people stayed. They knew the names and addresses. So if they could feel that strong about our culture and who we are, you can too. And it's going to carry y'all a long way. That's some of your tickets through life, is to know this story. So we're going to, with no further ado, but, you know, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is just a abbreviated, it's just an abbreviated thing to pay tribute and commemorate the 50 years. I can remember when I was a student. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was 50 years ago when me and Mr. Severin were in y'all place. I'd like to acknowledge Miss McClendon back there, Lisa McClendon. She's from Jazz Museum. I'd like to acknowledge Greg Lambuzzi, the director of their program. I'd like to thank the foundation. Alan, in the back, Alan, raise your hand. Them deciding to do this because it means a lot. I mean, I see these people in passing, but they're family, you know, so I feel good about doing this with them. I feel like I can do another 50 years. All right. Y'all want to do one more? What can we do? Stephen, you want to do? I know what you want to do. Stephen wants to do an Alvin Batiste thing, Mystics of Old. You want to do that? We're going to do a 2-minute version. We're going to do a 2-minute version. The rest of the horn players, y'all can fit, y'all will hear it, feel it. Give me some effects. Give me some effects. You ready? All right. Yeah. Courtney, play those forts and stuff for me. right. That was a mixture of Mystics of Old and River Niger by Kid Jordan. Okay, we'd like to thank y'all for coming out. Yeah, first of all, any questions? Anybody have any questions or any comments that we don't have any time? So we'd like to move it on. Thank you for coming out, and all our friends who are from other places, visitors to the city, welcome. And I hope you have a great time. We love you. All right, Alan, it's on you.
No, absolutely. I'm just going to do a little roll call since we are honoring the 50 years of NOCCA. So we're going to start here with our youngest alum, Stephen Gladney, on tenor saxophone, class of 2010. We're going to bring... Class of 2001, Natasha Harris on alto sax. Moving it right along to class of 1997, Stephen Walker on trombone. 1994, wait a minute, I forgot about the tuba back there. Hello, Raynell. 1994, 1990, Mark Chatters here on trumpet. And, oh, I forgot about 2000, Courtney. Walk behind her right here, Courtney Bryant, class of 2000. And myself, class of 2001. I said Natasha. And we're going to need a round of applause for the man of the afternoon, Mr. Jonathan Bloom, class of 1976. 76. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, the Maione Prima Foundation, for putting this series on and partnering with the NOCCA Foundation. Thank you all so much. Stay connected to NOCCA and the arts. You can visit NOCCAfoundation.org if you want to make a donation. Come out this weekend if you will still be in town visiting, or if you are local. The Art and Soul Gala is on Saturday, May 17th. Thank you.